What a week we have coming up for you next week on the David Pakman Show. On Monday, I am going to interview Jen Senko about her documentary, The Brainwashing of My Dad. It is an incredible look into the impact of right-wing media, including channels like Fox News, on people who have a variety of political backgrounds. So that's on Monday. We'll talk to the producer, Jen Senko. The film is The Brainwashing of My Dad. We are also going to interview next week Bill Scher, maybe the most frequent guest on the David Pakman Show in history, although he hasn't been on for a while. And we're just going to get down to the bottom of a lot of these. You know, you hear Trump say he wins against Hillary and Bernie in hypothetical matchups. You hear Bernie say he wins against Trump and Cruz in hypothetical matchups. We're going to talk to Bill Scher, number one, about whether we can even really put much weight into those hypothetical matchup polls when it is only March. And number two, we're going to try to get at the real dynamics and the most likely scenarios with regard to this Republican nomination that's going on. We're also going to be interviewing musician Daryl Davis, who is not only incredibly well known as a blues musician, but also as the host and producer of a documentary called Accidental Courtesy. And I've seen most of it, not all. I will watch it all before the interview. And it is fascinating. He, as a black man, collects KKK memorabilia, but really that's sort of an aside. It's a way that he has actually befriended current and former KKK members. He has changed minds. He has changed lives. And this dynamic, this sort of courtesy, as the film's title suggests, that he provides to KKK members and racists and all sorts of individuals is really, really incredible. And then we're going to go back to a classic interview we did with Seth Mnookin. Seth Mnookin is known, among other things, for exposing this Dr. Andrew Wakefield, who was one of the main proponents of the hypothesis that there is a link between the MMR vaccine and autism. And of course, Andrew Wakefield was ultimately completely discredited. It turned out that he had a personal financial connection to a measles-only vaccine that was often suggested as a safer alternative to the MMR vaccine, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to go back and review that great interview with Seth Mnookin in advance of an expose that we are doing, working on currently about the anti-vaccine movement. So a fantastic week next week. Questions for any of these guests, send them in. And of course, if you have suggestions for other people we should interview, get in touch. I'm on Twitter at @dpakman. You can get in touch with us on Facebook, facebook.com/David Pakman Show, or just go to davidpakman.com and email us.